Hey man, have you ever wondered why some guys walk into a room and don't say a word, but every woman there feels it? Not because they're flashy, not because they're smooth talkers, but because something about them just holds the space. That's not luck, that's not looks, that's calm. Not pretend calm, not the Instagram version of calm. I'm talking about that deep, steady, masculine calm that lives in your bones. The kind that makes people slow down around you and the kind that makes her feel safe without her even realizing why. It's rare, powerful, and it changes everything. See, most guys have no idea what this is. They think confidence is about being loud, being dominant, taking control. But real confidence is the real masculine energy. It's the opposite of noise, and it's presence. Let me break this down. Women are emotional creatures. That's not an insult. That's nature. Emotions are like weather for them. Shifting, alive, sometimes stormy, sometimes still. And when a woman is in the middle of her storm, she doesn't need a guy to out-emotion her. She doesn't need you yelling back, arguing, or trying to fix every gust of wind. What she craves and what she feels to her core is a man who doesn't move. A man who can stand there in the middle of the emotional chaos and still be still. That's the masculine calm. And when you learn how to live in it, not fake, it changes the game. Let's be clear though. This isn't about being cold, not about shutting down, pretending you don't feel, or being emotionally unavailable. That's not calm. That's fear dressed up in silence. Masculine calm is when you own your emotions, not when you avoid them. It's when you've done enough inner work that you're not triggered by every little thing. She can cry, she can scream, she can test you, and you don't flinch. Not because you're a robot, but because you're grounded. You know who you are, you know what you're about, and you don't need to prove a damn thing. That's when she feels it, and I don't mean hears it. I mean feels it, in her body, in her chest, in her gut. That this man is different. He's not reacting like the rest. He's not trying to win the argument or beg her to stay or ask 10 times if she's mad. He's just there, unshaken. And you want to know the wild part? The calmer you become, the more intense she gets. Not in a bad way, not in a dramatic way, but in a feminine way. Because your calm draws her out, your stillness gives her space to feel again. She feels safe to be emotional. She feels challenged in the best way. Not by force, but by contrast, she feels like she can finally relax. Because you're not trying to fix her, you're not trying to solve her feelings like a math problem. You're just holding space. That's leadership. That's masculinity. And that's what turns you from a maybe into a memory she can't shake. Let me tell you something real. You'll notice when you're truly calm, your breathing slows. You listen more than you speak. You're not in a rush to fill silence, because silence doesn't scare you anymore. You're not always reaching for your phone when things feel uncomfortable. You're not performing for her approval. You're not chasing, and she notices all of it. She might not say it out loud, but believe me, she feels it and it does something to her. Now, let's talk about what happens when you don't have this calm. You over-apologize. You over-explain. You try to fix everything she feels because you can't handle discomfort. And guess what? That doesn't make her feel safer. That makes her feel like she's leading the emotional energy of the relationship, and she doesn't want that. Not long term. She might not even realize it consciously, but when she senses you're always chasing her moods, always needing reassurance, always trying to patch things up before she's even processed what she's feeling, she doesn't feel led. She feels tired. Because a woman doesn't want to be your emotional compass. She doesn't want to carry both her chaos and yours. She wants to feel your stillness. She wants to know that no matter what wave she's on, she can look over and see you, the rock, the steady hand, the grounded presence. That's what makes her lean in. That's what makes her crave you. Not because you're trying to impress her, but because your peace makes her feel more feminine. Your calm makes her feel more. And when a woman starts feeling again around you, that's where everything changes. Now, I'm not saying you'll never get rattled. You're human, we all are. But masculine calm is a practice. It's a muscle, and the more you build it, the more natural it becomes. It shows up in the way you pause before responding, in the way you stay rooted when things get tense, in the way you don't rush to fill the air with solutions. It shows up in the way you just are. So stop trying to be louder. Stop trying to out-talk her, out-text her, out-emote her. Be the eye of the storm. Let her waves crash and just stand there. Not dismissive, not smug, just solid. Because when you can master that energy, you'll notice something strange. She starts leaning in. Her texts change. Her tone changes. Her body language changes. She stops testing you as much because she knows now this man doesn't flinch. And in a world full of men who do, you just became unforgettable. That's the masculine calm. And it's not a trick. It's a way of being. So if you're tired of being the guy who's always chasing, always guessing, always trying to make her stop, get quiet, get grounded, let her feel you instead of hear you. Because once she feels that energy, the calm that doesn't need to explain itself, she won't want to leave. And if she does, you'll still be good. Because a man rooted in his peace doesn't fear loss. He respects love, but he never chases chaos. Let that sink in. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.